Tonight on Citrus TV News, on the anniversary of 9/11, ceremonies are underway to pay tribute to those who lost their lives.
Plus, turns out Oprah tickets are not sold out. We'll tell you how you can get one.
And President Obama lays out his plan to fight ISIS.
The news starts now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Anna Giles.
And I'm Hunter Saenz. Memorial services are being held across the country to mark the 13th anniversary of 9/11. And that's tonight's top story.
Ceremonies were underway early this morning, including a service in Lower Manhattan where the Twin Towers once stood. It kicked off with the national anthem, bagpipe tribute, and a moment of silence.
The White House paused for a moment of silence as well. Events also took place at the Pentagon and the field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, the two other locations where planes crashed on that tragic day. Syracuse held a 17-minute moment of silence at the Foreman Park Police Memorial at 8:46.
The effect of that tragic day spreads far and wide, all the way to students here at Syracuse University.
Citrus TV's Nick Papantonis is live at the Hall of Languages with students' reaction to the 13th anniversary of this tragic day. Nick? I'm sorry, we have some technical difficulties. We'll get those right to you after this, but that day was so tragic. I remember I was in 2nd grade and got pulled out of school by my aunt. It was just
right, a lot of us
so
would have
scary.
been very young. I know, about 8 years old at that age, and not quite understanding what was going on yet, but now that we can reflect now, you can see how tragic this issue really is and the consequences it had for this country.
Yeah, exactly.
The NAACP will host an open discussion on diversity following the events in Ferguson. The forum will take place tomorrow at 1 p.m. in Grant Auditorium. It will give people an opportunity to speak openly about their feelings of discrimination both on campus and around the country. Follow #SpeakUpSU if you can't attend the meeting.
The 200 tickets made available for Oprah's ribbon-cutting ceremony to unveil the Newhouse Studios sold out in just 13 minutes. But if you didn't get your ticket yesterday, don't fret. An extra 300 of them will be given to Newhouse students only. Newhouse's Dean Brenham says a lottery system will determine who gets the tickets. Students will not have to submit their names for the lottery. If chosen, students will get an email after September 15th and have 48 hours to pick theirs up.
SU College of Law's newest building will be dedicated tomorrow. Dining Hall is the only law school in the country that has a fireplace, which will be nice for Cuse winters. The building also has a lot of green features and is expected to win awards for design and landscape architecture. The dedication is tomorrow at 1:30.
In the next few months, the Connective Corridor will reveal 6 new motion-controlled kiosks to promote local art and culture. This is in addition to 11 kiosks with general information about the city already in development. The new ones will exclusively promote the arts by helping people navigate the many museums and galleries along the corridor. VPA students have helped contribute to their development. 2 kiosks are already being planned to be installed by the end of the year. And coming up after the break, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys accused of sexual assault.
And 2 new controversial laws in Missouri regarding abortion and guns. All that and more next.
With rain showers early this morning and cloudy skies during the day, I'll let you know what you can expect to see in your forecast for the evening and the rest of the weekend. You're watching Citrus TV News live at 6.
Now it's time for This Week in Bad Stats.
Bad stats?
Horrible stats. Here goes. 132. That's how many batters struck out 4 times in one game last season.
Wow, very good. Here's a tough one, though. 3 and 4.
No idea.
That's how many kids witness bullying. 3 out of 4.
That's not a good stat.
No, it's not, but it can change. Kids want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov and give them the tools they need to help prevent bullying.
There are plenty of safe ways kids can help at stopbullying.gov.
Kickflip 6 stairs takes determination. So we're getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
You realize that 49 million Americans struggle with hunger? That's 1 out of every 6 Americans. These people are around us every day. They're our friends, they're our co-workers, their kids go to school with our kids. Sometimes we're not even aware that they're struggling. This problem is closer than you think. So is the solution.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Senator Schumer reintroduced a bill today that would allow the victims of 9/11 attacks to sue foreign countries that finance terrorist groups. The move comes after a group was blocked from suing Saudi Arabia, which was protected under a law that grants it foreign sovereign immunity. Opponents of the measure say it could open up companies to unfair lawsuits.
Republican lawmakers in Missouri passed a controversial law this morning that expands the rights of gun owners. The law will allow specially trained teachers to carry concealed guns in schools. It will allow people to carry guns openly with a weapons permit and lower the minimum age for obtaining a permit to 19. The legislature decided to drop an additional part that would have attempted to nullify federal gun laws. Well, the lawmakers didn't stop there. The Republican-led House also passed a law that enacts some of the strictest abortion regulations in the country. Women seeking to end their pregnancy will have to wait 72 hours after seeing a doctor. This includes cases of rape. Both laws gathered enough support to override Democratic Governor Jay Nixon's veto.
A former exotic dancer is suing Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones for sexual assault. Jana Weckerly says that Jones assaulted her in 2009 and is looking for $1 million in monetary relief. Jones has no comment on the accusations. Authorities are still investigating the issue.
The northern lights should be shining this weekend. A strong solar flare launched off the sun on Wednesday and is expected to affect the Earth's power grid either Friday or Saturday. Now, scientists urge there shouldn't be any major disruptions, although there should be some minor interference with radio waves and GPS signals. One nice side effect is the flare is causing some beautiful northern lights. The light should be most visible Friday night in the northern parts of the country. And Hawaii's tourism industry received a boost yesterday when the state voted to remove homeless people from popular areas. The new law bans sitting or lying down on sidewalks in tourist-filled areas of the main island and public urination on the island of Oahu. The homeless will be moved to another part of the island, a move that opponents say essentially criminalizes homelessness.
Secretary of State John Kerry is in the Middle East today rallying support for President Obama's plan to combat ISIS. In a primetime speech last night, the president promised military action.
He came out in support of more airstrikes and arming moderate Syrian rebels to fight ISIS. He described his strategy as long-term, but that it would not be a repeat of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Some of the major points to come out of the president's speech last night did include his promise for military action. He has promised airstrikes in both Iraq and Syria, which has caused some major discussion with it, both domestically and internationally. Today, he is trying to rally support from his Arab partners in the Middle East, trying to get them to support these strikes in both Syria and Iraq and get them to participate in them themselves.
Well, the moderator of Citrus TV's Talking Points, Nick Cardona, joins us now. What is the biggest piece that we can take from the president's speech last night?
Well, this is a speech that the president didn't want to give. I mean, that was one of the major points that CNN raised. Actually, it's a speech that obviously he didn't want to reform his policy towards ISIS. He wanted to stay the course and try to keep us out of this conflict as much as possible. But he had to give it. He had to remain strong, and I think that's what he did. But also, he left a couple unanswered questions that we don't really know how long it's going to last. We don't know what kind of airstrikes there are going to be. We don't know if we are eventually going to move to boots on the ground. And this is a problem that's going to last longer than his presidency, and that's definitely a major point to keep an eye out for.
What has been the reaction within Congress? We have some lawmakers who are urging him to saying he should have taken action sooner, and others saying, don't rush into it, we don't want another a war like Afghanistan or Iraq. What's some of the reaction in Congress you've been finding?
Well, I think Congress is starting to realize that this is going to be not a war. They don't want to call it that. President Obama certainly doesn't want to call it that. But Congress is starting to realize that they are going to have to be behind Obama on this one. They're going to have to push for more action to combat this, because now Americans are getting killed. This is a serious issue that the president now, since he had a primetime State of the Union-esque address, if you want to call it that, this is going to be a key point for Congress to just get behind the president in his last 2 years and make sure something can get done.
Do you think his speech reassured the American people? And obviously there's a lot of concern there, as we've said, about jumping into another big war. Do you think his speech addressed all the points that the public has been concerned about?
I think it did. I think it also left, like I said, unanswered questions about how long, and the American people are war weary. We've seen that all over and over again with public opinion polls and things like that. But I think the main takeaway from this is that at the end of the speech he kind of went into and he started talking about the economy and other issues, and I don't think that should have been the premise of the speech. I think he could have ended it right after he finished talking about ISIS. Just end it right there. That would have been a better sign that he's starting to be strong against ISIS. And he went into the economy. He's trying to prove to the American people that this is okay. The economy is doing this. He's trying to remind the American people of something that's good that's happening. But I think that the main focus should have been on ISIS, which it was. But he didn't have to go into the economy. But I think he did a good job at reassuring the American people.
Right. He did kind of take it off there at the end. The speech was about 14 minutes, and he spent the last couple minutes going on about the latest economic news. But again, thank you so much, Nick Cardona from Talking Points. We appreciate it. No problem.
The accused, therefore, cannot be found guilty of murder dolus eventualis. That, however, is not the end of the matter, as culpable homicide is a competent verdict.
A South African judge has found Blade Runner Oscar Pistorius not guilty of murder. The former Olympian has been in court for months for shooting and killing his girlfriend Reva Steenkamp through their bathroom door. The judge will be considering lesser charges, including culpable homicide and ammunition charges.
A moon rabbit on a naval base? Dutch artist Florentine Hofman debuts his latest art project. Hofman displays his adorably enormous moon rabbit on a grass roof bunker at a naval base in Taiwan. His latest animal-inspired project is part of the annual Lands Art Festival, which is taking place at a former naval base. The festival will feature creative markets, workshops, and performing arts.
International investigators have released their findings on the Syrian war gas attacks. The inspectors determined that the gas was used, quote, systematically and repeatedly, and was most likely chlorine. The investigators did not say which side used the gas, the rest of which was taken and destroyed at sea by the international community.
45 peacekeepers from Fiji kidnapped last month are free, according to the UN. The peacekeepers were captured by al-Qaeda-linked militants last month. They are all in good health, though they will need to undergo a medical evaluation before being cleared to go home.
After 300 years of Spanish rule, the people of Catalonia pushed for independence. Thursday's mass demonstration, called the Catalonian Way 2014, is expected to have more than 450,000 people in attendance. Catalonia's president says it's time for the Spanish state to listen to the people's peaceful and democratic outcry. And well, it's been beautiful out the past few days. Why all of a sudden did we have rain and cooler temperatures this morning? You said that is on Saturday going to rain, but how can we expect the weather?
Well, the weather today was certainly interesting. We had rain in the morning, and believe it or not, our high today was 76 degrees, although we really were around the mid-60s. So really cloudy, the humidity at about 69, and the wind, it was very windy, 15 miles per hour. Looking into tonight, 57 degrees, low of 50 degrees, no chance of rain into tonight like you had to worry about this morning, and it's going to be mostly clear. And you definitely felt that cool down as you stepped out this morning. But it wasn't just Syracuse. All over the country, there's a major cool down going on Thursday and Friday, so we can see those temperatures really getting down into lower numbers. And the current dew points, Syracuse right there in the middle, very comfortable, but we can see out to the west that it's getting a little bit more dry, and we can expect that to head our way certainly very soon. Current temperatures, Syracuse also right in the mid-range, not too hot like we used to see. Those cold temperatures from the west, they are coming to us. As you can see here, we have a cold front coming in. That's what we were experiencing today, and that's what caused the rain that we saw. Then you can see one coming in, and so another cold front means more rain in our future. You can see that rain is going to be hitting us on Saturday. But looking into the rest of the 5-day forecast, on Friday it's going to be nice, 64 degrees. At night, 48. Saturday, like I said, that rain, and it's going to be 60 degrees, somewhat comfortable. At night, 48. And then Sunday and Monday, we're getting into more normal temperatures, 64 degrees, partly cloudy, 45 at night, and Monday, 71, getting warm again, partly cloudy.
So in the last few weeks when we've had, huge amounts of rain, it's been really humid because the temperatures have been so hot. It's extremely uncomfortable. But it was cool this morning when I woke up. Why is that?
This morning it was cool because of that cool front that was coming in. So when a cool front comes in, it pushes up those higher air temperatures, makes the rain condense up top, and then we get that cold rain feeling, and it all condenses and we get cloudy skies as well.
Hey, at least it's not snow.
That's true. Not yet.
That's what's most important.
Exactly.
All right, Saturday. What time is it going to rain? Some of us have some outdoor activities.
It's going to be raining pretty much all day. There's a 60 to 70% chance of rain, and you can expect it to continue throughout the evening.
All right, thanks so much. Coming up on Citrus TV News, how Apple's new software will allow you to pay with just the tip of your finger.
And a new study that gives us one more reason to catch enough Z's.
Society should aspire to be more like us.
Be part of the first class. Get energized. Get outside.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna get bumpy.
And get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at ActionHeroAlliance.com.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
All right, now our own Nick Papantonis joins us live from outside of the Hall of Languages with students' reaction to 9/11. Nick?
September 11th, 2001 has gone down as one of the most powerful days in recent history. On this day, 4 planes were flown into buildings in New York City, Virginia, and a field outside of Shanksville, Pennsylvania. To mark the 13th anniversary of these attacks, Café Kubal held free coffee from 9 to 11 this morning. Foreman Park had a 17-minute period of silence this morning, and the town of DeWitt is holding a moment of silence as we speak. Joining me on the camera outside of Waverly Avenue today is Erica Jones-Craven, a sophomore at the VPA school. Erica, how you doing? Thanks for being with us today.
I'm doing great. And yourself?
So can you tell me, do you remember anything of that day? When did you first hear about these attacks and where were you?
I was fairly young. I believe I was in the 1st grade. And I remember my teacher turning to the news channel, and we were all just so shocked and scared and didn't know what to expect. It was just full of memories and just terrible tragedy.
And would you say you're probably never going to forget that moment either?
Definitely never going to forget, because it was something I'd never experienced before. Me and my peers alike, and it was definitely an experience that will definitely always be in my mind.
Thank you so much, Erica.
No problem.
And it's stories like Erica's that will mark this day as one of the greatest and darkest in this country. For CitrusTV News, I'm Nick Papantonis.
All right, thank you, Nick. The respiratory bug virus affecting children across the United States seems to be spreading like wildfire. More than 10 states across the Midwest and Southeast are reporting high numbers of the severe virus. Atlanta has seen an average of 100 cases each week since school began in August. Doctors believe the cause of the virus to be called the bug enterovirus D68.
A new study on the effects of teen marijuana usage has reported some drastic findings. The study shows that teens who use marijuana on a daily basis are 60% less likely to graduate high school compared to non-marijuana users. The study also suggests that marijuana users are 8 times more likely to use other drugs in the future and are 7 times more likely to attempt suicide. However, the study is unable to prove that marijuana use is the cause of these problems.
So can the lack of sleep shrink your brain? Recent studies show it's possible. Scientists found that over a 3-year time period, adults who were identified with poor sleeping habits had a more rapid decline in brain size. Lack of sleep is also known to contribute to brain disorders like dementia.
Apple roll out new iPhones this week. The company also introduced a new way to pay. Coming out in October, Apple Pay allows users to simply hold their finger on the fingerprint sensor and hold it up to a register. The digital wallet also works for in-app purchases. The charge goes straight to the credit card users have set up with Apple.
A list of 500 Gmail usernames and passwords have been leaked. The list appeared at a Russian Bitcoin forum on Wednesday. It is not clear how the list was obtained, and a Google spokeswoman said there is no evidence Google systems have been hacked. Google has locked out all of the emails on the list and are working with its customers to reset their accounts. If you have a Gmail account, Google will be posting a website for customers to check if they've been affected.
Out with the old and in with the new. As Apple Watch and the iPhone 6 was unveiled, Apple also decided to discontinue the iPod Classic. The product was removed from Apple's website on Tuesday during the Apple Watch event. Although the iPod Classic lacks the touchscreens and the sleekness of the newer models, some loyalists are sad to see it go.
Coming up on sports, we will preview the Syracuse football game this weekend and maybe find out what a Chippewa is.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
The only triple doubles you get come with fries.
Last time you blocked someone, you were online. I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool.
Not cool. Not in my house, not anywhere.
It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
Packers. Viking. Packers. Viking. Viking.
Red state. Blue state. Vegan.
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown. Night owl.
Early bird.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities, our families,
United.
even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Mount Pleasant, Michigan this weekend to take on the Central Michigan Chippewas. The two teams last met in 1999, so it's been a while, but it was a good game for Syracuse as they came away with a 47-7 victory. After the first game that left much to be desired for the Orange, they are hoping for an offensive improvement following their bye week. Quarterback Terrell Hunt spoke about what the team needs to focus on to get the win.
It was the crowd, the other team going into their locker room, it's going to be tough because they don't have the best facilities, little things like that. But we got to drive an hour to the stadium on game day, so if we let little things like that get to us, it's going to be a tough game, so just go out there and do what we got to do.
Kickoff is noon on Saturday. The SU women's soccer team looks to continue their 4-game unbeaten streak. They're making the short trip to Colgate tonight to take on the Raiders. Syracuse has had great success against Colgate. They lead the all-time series 14-2-1. Freshman phenom Alex LaMontagne will try to help keep up her red-hot start to the season. She has 7 goals and only 5 starts this year. Moving on to baseball, it was a big day for New York as both the Yanks and Mets were at home looking to stay in the wild card race. We head to the Bronx for the Yankees game first. You see it? Derek Jeter, the first highlight's going to be Logan Forsythe here hitting a single out to left field. It's going to bring in another run as the Rays take a 3-0 lead in the first, but then it would be the Yanks offense coming back to seal the deal. Brian McCann is going to single up the middle to bring in Chris Young and Jacoby Ellsbury. The Yankees would go on to put up another run as Mark Teixeira would triple down the right field line. Will Myers doesn't handle it quite right. It's going to bring in Brian McCann. The Yankees would go on to win by a final score of 8-5. They are now 4.5 games back in the wild card race. We head over to Queens next, where the pitching and defense was the main story as Rafael Montero took the mound for the Mets. Eric Young got the scoring started in the bottom of the second as he hit a triple into right center. Drew Stubbs couldn't quite come up with the ball, rolls all the way to the wall, scoring Dylan Herrera. Eric Young, cool as a cucumber as he slides into third. It would be defense and pitching the rest of the day as Eric Campbell makes a diving stop here at first base to get out Justin Blackmon. We're moving on to pitching as Montero and his Ks would be the story for the rest of the game. Striking out Drew Stubbs, he would have 7 Ks to go on to get his first major league win. They would win 2-0.
That update. And finally tonight, a string of strange robberies around the U.S. has police scratching their heads.
And a man decided to take a nap during one home invasion in Florida. Deon Davis was discovered by a cleaning lady and didn't wake up, even as police arrived and began taking pictures of him.
Also, a woman made her grand escape from a Walmart robbery in Michigan using a wheelchair cart. The woman was found a few miles away with $600 of clothing and said she didn't have a ride and didn't feel like walking.
Well, I guess I shouldn't totally laugh as encouraging that, but I could see my grandma doing that.
I know.
You never know.
Me
You
too.
never know. Keep an eye on her.
Me too. Well, that wraps up our Citrus TV News Live at 6 tonight. I'm Anna Giles.
And I'm Hunter Saenz. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Good night, Citrus.